You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
What's up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 201. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter. Sure. And I'm joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire, Roshan Warner at Roro.
Hello, aliens are real.
Aliens are real.
Oh
Yeah, that's wild.
Crazy.
Can we go break
Is
into
it
Area
wild?
51 now?
That should be topic of the show, honestly. But is
That
it wild?
Should be topic of the show.
Seems crazy.
We are joined by the DMZ Daddy, the Tarkov Teletubby, Gage Dempster, at Gilbo Biggins.
Thank you for that introduction. That one just hit. I don't know why. I appreciate you.
They all hit. You hit all the shots that you take.
That's true.
I mean-
That's true. Unironically, you and I do really well in DMZ. Like, whatever complaints people have with the game mode and it's not this, that. When you and I play this one specific game mode for some reason, I always have a ball. I have a blast.
It gets wild. It
does.
insane. But Christian is stuck at work. We wish him well in his duties of servitude. Anyways, thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is our discussion around Activision Blizzard IP that we want to see resurrected when this Microsoft acquisition goes through, maybe. Let's get some of this happening. But first, the show always starts with the quick bites, so let's go ahead and jump right in. This first item comes by way of, and again, thank you, Christian. Christian filled in many of these stories in the quick bites. Much appreciation, King. Skull Island, Rise of Kong is coming to PC and consoles this year, guys. Are we excited for a new King Kong game?
That depends, I think.
Yeah.
Are you playing as Kong, or are you playing as, or is it a soul? Is it just gonna be a
You're playing
janky
as
first-person
Kong.
shooter? Okay.
You're
That's
playing as
interesting.
Kong.
It looks a little...
A little janky.
Yeah.
Is it a little janky?
Yeah. Embark on a third-person action adventure to avenge the death of your parents at the hands of the ultimate alpha predator. Go.
Okay, you know what, gentlemen? Correct me if I'm off base here, but is there something about the word, starting off a video game description, an official video game description with embark, that makes me think, I don't think these people know what they're talking about. I don't think this is going to be a very good video game.
It tracks so far.
Yeah.
It almost has a weirdly goofy Fortnite art style. It's not quite Fortnite, but it's I don't know, it has that weird aesthetic to it.
Half stylized, half realistic, kind of.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's weird.
Interesting.
Definitely weird. I watched the Skull... Well, I haven't finished it yet. I still have 2 more episodes to go, but I watched the Skull Island Netflix animated show. It's pretty good. Surprisingly really good.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's safe to say this won't be Peter Jackson's King Kong, the video game, which that game was pretty awesome. I love that game. Moving on, Sony has revealed the Spider-Man 2 PS5 console, controller, and we got a new trailer as well, story trailer. First off, though, the PS5, the custom PS5, I think it's really cool that they're actually selling the plates that has that same design separately, so people can buy just the design if they don't want to, pay for a whole console, which I think that's awesome. And yeah, this design looks really cool. I really like the black and red mix there of the Spider-Man stuff and Spider-Man logo in the middle. It's really cool.
Yes, I'm a fan of the controller as well, and the trailer was really good.
Yes.
I keep watching the trailer.
Gage and Christian refused, bro, but we watched it.
No, that's fair.
I I have not caved yet, so I think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna roll with it so far.
You can do it. I believe in you. People, of course, talking about the faces of the characters, the hairstyles of certain characters too. That's always a fun discourse.
What's your opinion on Peter Rowe? Do you
I definitely like the old face more, the original one that we got. I'm definitely at the point where I don't care anymore, though.
Right.
Now that we've had him for so long, I understand people wanting the old face, but definitely never going to see it again, unfortunately.
Right.
So I'm just at like, okay, we got this face now. I'm kind of used to it at this point.
I think because each one looks different because like he's older now. Like
right,
I
actually, it looks a little bit different than the other face version. Yeah,
which I actually like this one better. Like I think this one like illustrates how he's matured a little bit more. Like I think his facial attributes kind of like lends more to like he's a little older, a little more experienced. Like I just feel like that from his appearance. But also, Ro, what about Miles? Are you feeling Miles's haircut? Because I know some people were talking about that as well.
Yeah, I've seen some support. I've seen some clowning on Miles as well. I personally liked his other haircut, but I don't really care that much.
Fair.
He's going to be wearing the mask most of the time anyway. But yeah, not really something that I care about too much. MJ, on the other hand, I like her facelift.
Well, Gage, have you seen? I know you haven't seen the trailer, but have you seen their?
I have seen. Okay. Yes, MJ looks like I'm ready for her to sternly tell me that my library books are overdue and that they can be brought in tomorrow. No excuses, and I'll be yes, MJ, absolutely, for sure. And then yeah, like Ro hit it kind of perfectly, where it's like they're fiction, they're digital characters. I don't really care. However, I will say for the record that I think there was charm to the original. I actually thought that they took a really, how do I word this? I think the original Peter design, the original Peter design, is like underrated in that like he wasn't conventionally kind of like like I don't know. I look at the new one and I'm like, yeah, it's Tom Holland light. Like this is your Hollywood leading man, but like I don't know. I thought the original Peter design was kind of charming. He didn't really look like somebody on the front of a Hollywood poster. He looked kind of like just like an average guy. I like that he looked a little bit older because we normally see Peter Man. Wow, I can't believe it. We normally see Peter Parker like at least tried to make it look really young every time we see him. So I don't know. I really thought there was a lot of charm in the original, and I was very disappointed that they did it. But I don't care. I'm not losing sleep over it. If I had a genie that granted me like 500 wishes, this might be wish like 456, but like you know what I mean. It's not really at the top of my priority list.
Like it'll get done, but it's like I'm not losing. It's like it's okay. I have so many other wishes to wish first, but it'll definitely be on the list.
Yeah, I get there eventually for sure. Yeah. I think, oh yeah, and Insomniac, right? Go back in time and make sure
you don't change the face.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like the other thing I like about Miles as well is like Miles, like he's still really young compared to Peter in terms of like his experience, and I think he's literally younger. And so like it makes more sense that he would be like experimenting with his hairstyle and like his look and stuff like that. So I think it's cool that they're giving him a different look.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah.
Anywho, moving on from there, guys. Mortal Kombat 1's DLC roster has been revealed, and it is exactly what we expected from the leaks. The first pack, I should say, because who knows, there could be more packs on the way, but these DLC fighters will be Quan Chi, Omni-Man, Ermac, Takeda, Peacemaker, and Homelander. There they are. Boom.
And a little extra tidbit, apparently J.K. Simmons is reprising his role for Omni-Man, which is really cool. Love that.
Very cool.
Oh man, I can't wait for season 2.
Yes.
Oh man,
I'm getting really closer.
Cool. I've never seen it. Is it good?
Oh, it's so good.
It's very good.
All right. Moving.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no,
go ahead.
No,
No.
Yeah.
We're done. We're not talking. This is an invincible podcast. This is a PXN podcast.
Moving on, Ubisoft has announced that they are canceling plans for a sequel to Immortals Phoenix Rising. They've canceled plans for a sequel to 2020's mythological open world adventure game, according to BGC. They confirmed that they are reallocating some creative teams and resources within the Quebec studio, and I believe they were specifically saying they are moving people more towards their other established IPs, which means Assassin's Creed and, I guess whatever else is coming.
Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is kind of like the fallacy of the video games becoming so big that now they're business first and art second. It's like this game, I don't think it sold very well at all, but in terms of like recent Ubisoft releases, I remember this one getting positive buzz in terms of like, hey, there's something here, like this is fun, this is unique. And of course, but it didn't hit numbers, it didn't do this, it didn't do that, so let's cancel that and fold those people into our Splinter Cell RPG open world remake that we're doing.
No, that's not happening. No.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
No.
Until I see it, until I see a level select screen, I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yeah. It's a bit of I agree. It's a bit of a bummer to see it get canceled, but I agree, like it probably didn't do well, so they didn't feel like the need to continue it. But it sucks that the first kind of more creative venture that they did is already being shut down and just going back to, the formula, if for lack of a better term.
Right.
Indeed. Circle back real quick. Glenn says, yeah, guys, might be getting a PS5.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. Moving on to our next story here. Xbox creates the world's first ever pizza-scented controller. Yes, pizza-scented controller. Designed to deliver the smell of the turtle's beloved meal to your game time, these exclusive wireless controllers come with a built-in scent diffuser shaped like a slice of delicious New York za, meaning pizza.
So wait, okay, these are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collab?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, that's an important piece of context that we got to throw in at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because you opened up with Xbox made a pizza smelling controller. I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on here? No, it doesn't make it any better.
Okay.
No, actually it does. It makes it slightly better. Because if the story was every new Xbox controller, black, white, blue, smell like pizza, what the fuck are we doing? What is going on?
The controllers actually have really cool designs, but yeah. I don't want a pizza smelling controller.
That almost deters me from wanting to, like, if the controllers like looked cool and I wanted one, that would almost, I feel like, deter, like it's just gonna rub off on my hands and just like smelling pizza, like what?
Oh my god.
I wish we would stop. I just wish we would collectively stop, all of us.
I could swear we shut down the games industry right here. This is it. It diffuses it, like it like splurts it out, for lack of a better term, right? It's not always smelling like pizza unless you
blurts it out.
Yeah,
like the scent, like one of those Febreze air fresheners.
Yeah,
so it doesn't always smell like pizza, right? Unless you ask for it to smell like pizza.
True.
But
hey, Amazon, can you splurt my Xbox controller?
I do like the designs though. The designs are really stylized, and their names are all in like graffiti like looking font. It looks really cool. I like it.
And is the pizza detachable? Is that like the diffuser?
That's a good question.
Or is that always there?
I
feel like that would get annoying.
Yeah, agreed. Because honestly, if they sell these controllers and I can take the diffuser off, I will get rid of that diffuser and just use like
big honking pizza there.
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. So I don't know. Guess we'll see.
Which one are you gonna get, Dan? Michelangelo?
Oh no,
Raphael?
No,
Donatello?
No, Leonardo.
Yeah,
that's me though. That's
my last guess.
Get out of here. Get out of here. And somebody put in here Dan is Raph, and I changed it to Dan is Leo, and I think it was Christian because he put the story in here. But
right.
Anyways, all right. More Xbox news. Xbox will let players map keyboard keys to controller buttons soon. The feature is now available for Alpha Insider members. This is generally done to test the feature and make sure that it's working well. Yeah, we know that. We know how the preview program works. For the Xbox Elite Wireless Series 2 controller and the adaptive controller, the Xbox Accessories app now supports mapping keyboard keys to your controller. To get started, open the Xbox Accessories app and configure your profile. You can also find this feature in the Xbox Accessories app on your Windows PC by joining the Windows Gaming Preview from the Xbox Insider Hub. So, pretty neat little feature that they're adding there, adding some keybind options to controller.
I could be way off, but doesn't this seem like there's more to this than just like it's not remapping controls, it's adding keybinds to your controller. Correct. On Xbox for a full-fledged keyboard.
Correct.
Which only some people use, and that doesn't really have anything to do with accessibility, like plugging in a key. Like you could buy the accessibility controller if you're somebody who had motor restrictions. That's separate, completely separate from ever needing to like bind K or L to those, because if you're playing on Xbox, you're going to be playing Xbox games that already like. Right. To me, I don't know. I look at this and I'm like, like I know. One of my pie in the sky things is that for there to be some sort of Steam Xbox integration, or maybe this is something to do with ID at Xbox with porting over PC games. But this is a very weird thing to announce and like give attention to. And I know they mentioned the accessibility thing, but when you think about like needing key binds like from a keyboard, I'm like, this seems like implementing this feature is like, is it really just for? I don't know. It seems like this might be something that they're laying the groundworks for. I can't think of needing to bind on the back of my Xbox controller. Again, I'm somebody who buys an Xbox. I play in the Xbox ecosystem. Why I need to have P bound to like my back button on the Xbox? You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think, and because I think you can play. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I think you can play cloud games that are on PC only on the cloud service on your Xbox. I think.
Okay.
I believe that's a thing. So
that would make sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same kind of ballpark of what I mean, where it's, yeah, that's okay. So that would make sense.
Right. But don't take that to heart because I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that that's the case.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't think of a case where you would, like, that has to be the case because I can't think of any other, like, case why you would want that.
Indeed. Microsoft's buying Valve. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Moving on. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 logos have leaked and is pretty much confirmed by Activision at this point. They have acknowledged it by kind of pointing fun at it by saying, "Ooh, Mondays. Anyone have an energy drink they can spare?" And of course, there was artwork that leaked from energy drink promotions for Monster Energy. So yeah, we officially know it's Modern Warfare 3 with 3 Roman numerals with Captain Price in the background.
And more importantly, Makarov standing behind him.
Oh, I didn't even notice that until you said that. Yeah.
Yes.
Which I guess makes sense from the end of 2, but yeah, I didn't even notice that. Cool. All right, well. Are you ready for Modern Warfare?
Are you ready for another half-finished game, baby?
Sure. No, not really. But, you know.
Now, here's the question, Dan, because I know that you are, like me, you're a campaign enjoyer. Yes. Is there a chance that you buy this just to continue the campaign? How did you feel? How did you feel about the campaign again? I know we all talked about it. I enjoyed it.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I still think the original Modern Warfare trilogy 2 is better. Yeah.
Right.
But thus far. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we see from the game because we haven't seen it yet. But honestly, I don't really play enough Call of Duty to warrant getting it right away. So I may just wait, especially if, no one else wants to get it, because I don't play Call of Duty by myself. That is not a game that I sit down and I'm like, I'm going to go play Call of Duty. I only play it if, like, you want to play DMZ or someone else wants to play, and I'll join them. But, yeah, I would probably wait for a sale if, no one else jumps in right away.
Right. Bro, I know you're eager to jump in.
Oh, yeah. Love this Call of Duty.
Move. 50,000 people used to live here. Sorry. That was terrible impressions here, but...
I don't even know who you're impersonating in that with.
So, when me and Gage... Oh, Jesus. I just realized... I just said when me and Gage and looked at the screen and realized I have Christian's overlay up. The whole time I've had Christian's name up there. Whoops. We'll fix that. Gage and I always play DMZ row, acting like characters in the Call of Duty games with these terrible impressions. So
and when he says acting like the characters, he means just saying the character's name as the character.
You guys were full out role playing,
which is not really acting. But yeah, that is true. I can't confirm that does take place.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, moving on. We got a look at some animated shorts for Starfield, and I admit I have not had a chance to look at these yet. But have you guys watched them yet?
I have not. I will probably go in blind at this point with Starfield as well.
That's fair. These are not, I don't think these are really related to the game. They're kind of like, they're animated like shorts to like get you introduced to the universe.
Right.
But yeah, just scrubbing through them, the style looks cool.
Yes.
Give you some backstory before you jump in. Cool.
Yeah. Really cool art style. I agree. I only watched the third one on this list in the IGN article. It looks like you're saying, just like getting you introduced to the world, little side stories for different people that are in the galaxy.
Hell yeah. I'll watch these after the pod, maybe. Pull them up. All right. Our last quick bite, and it's unfortunate that Christian is not here for this, because I'm sure he's very excited. He, of course, puts baby in here into the story. Armored Core 6 has gotten a gameplay preview, baby. That's Christian's language. The video shows some of the game's main mechanics, including the assault boost ability, which is used for traversal and combat. It also shows how players can use vertical catapults to launch high into the air and take the action to the skies. The game's stagger mechanic is also shown, in which players can damage the altitude. It says attitude, but I feel like it means altitude. I don't know. Control system of tougher enemies to put them temporarily out of action and leave them exposed. The video also gives another summary of the game's plot, which I won't go into in case people are trying to stay dark on it. But yeah, Christian's hyped for this, and I caught a little bit of this on Twitter. People were posting stuff from it, and it looks really good. Smooth gameplay.
Looks fast and fluid, yes. Yeah. Now, I'm not familiar with the franchise, and of course, Christian's not here. Is this a game where there's a story mode and competitive multiplayer, or is this kind of like an Elden Ring type where it's just like, no, it's just a story, you just go in?
Yeah, I don't think there's multiplayer.
Okay. That actually is a selling point for me. I was looking at some of the thing that always gets me, Anthem, all that stuff, is customization, and I was looking at some of the clips there, and it looks pretty extensive for making these mechs. I'm not usually a mech guy, but that kind of stuff really intrigues me, so I've definitely been... This one's on my radar for sure.
Next month, right? This coming month, August?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks cool.
Coming quick. August 25th. All right. Moving into our Street Meets PlayStation Project Q, which is, of course, the handheld that they announced not that long ago. Runs on Android, according to leaked images. The handheld could launch later this year. Of course, it looks like a DualSense controller that's like, on the sides of an LED screen. Which if this runs on Android, I'm even more confused on what the point is, I guess, because like everyone has a phone nowadays, and like you can run the PlayStation app and get the same remote experience from that. So I guess, I don't know. I'm not sure who this is necessarily targeted to, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Oh boy. I wonder how much it's going to cost. That's the big question for me.
Yeah.
Not that I would buy it either way, but
right.
I was gonna say this is one. Can I get a vibe check? Because this is one of the few machines where like there's probably 0% chance I'm getting. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even considering it. It's just like, is it? How are you guys feeling on this? Is there? I can't see the value in this at all.
Yeah. Me neither. It'll cost a lot more and be a completely different thing. But if you could natively play the games on it, that's a whole different thing. But it just being like a remote play device that runs apparently, as Dan says, on Android, it's like I got a phone, like you guys said. I don't think I need to spend this, and I have a DualSense controller. So yeah, I think I'm good.
A device that runs things natively. Do you mean like the wildly popular Nintendo Switch or Steam Deck or ROG Ally, or like the discontinued Vita that fans have been clamoring for? Any of those things? Oh, like those. Okay,
like
interesting.
Yeah,
that's actually a really good point, though, Ro and Gage, because like for instance, the Xbox has Xbox Series S, which is $299, and the Series X, which is $499. Sony has not had another SKU like that. Obviously, they have the $399 and $499 price points for digital and non-digital, but like if they could launch a handheld at $299, like that would be a really great price point and have like a lesser powered PS5 equivalent in handheld form, and that would be their Series S essentially, like a cheaper entry point, and it's on the go.
It took you 30 seconds to think of that, and that is a wildly better idea than what we were getting. No, I didn't even think about that too. Yeah, because I think the ROG Ally is roughly PS4. Yeah. Oh, is that what Rose said?
Well,
I mean that's what I would like that, but he definitely fleshed it out a bit more than I did. But I don't know, as much as I would want that, would that work in Sony's favor? Like I definitely want that. That would be awesome. But I don't know how many other people might feel the same way as we do on that one. And I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's why I credit that to Dan, is just because I think power level is important. So if it was kind of like a PS5 Lite, where it kind of, because I think the ROG Ally is right now, it kind of runs things at like Xbox One generation, PS4 generation things. But if PS5 was able to come out with something that, even though it's still a 1080 screen or say 720 screen or whatever, but it had that extra horsepower, I think that would be really interesting. And they would have to market it accordingly, though. They'd definitely have to emphasize the fact that it could plug into a TV and you could use it as a console, right? Exactly. Because that would be, and then it could actually be a handheld and also a Series S competitor if you never wanted to bring it with you.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say, Gage.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That'd be awesome.
Plug it in. Yeah. Good ideas all the way around there. Sony sent
us. But what do we know? But what do we know? But what do we really know?
That's
Nothing.
True. What Gage knows is he's excited for this other street meat that we have here, which is Back 4 Blood 2 is getting some rumors, possibly being remade in Unreal Engine 5. Gage, how excited would you be for this?
Be very excited. As you and I have discussed at length in the past, and as I've recently tweeted about, I think that the core design of Back 4 Blood is really, really smart. I think it's actually I think the design is way more high quality than like the actual final product we got. Like I think they were kind of limited by the engine that they chose to do, and they are, as of right now, still an independent studio, so they don't really have unlimited resources like they did when they were at Valve and they made those sort of cutting edge Left 4 Dead games, which obviously like maybe we don't think of them as cutting edge, but the fact that they're still played today, you know, fucking 12 years later, definitely speaks to how well those games were at the time. So I think that they're definitely limited by the engine. I think that the design of that game is really solid, and I think this could be exactly what the franchise needs. I think that roguelike elements are really kind of elevate this genre of the PvE kind of 4-player co-op stuff.
You know who owns the majority shareholders or majority stake of Turtle Rock Studios?
Who's that?
Tencent.
Ooh. So I guess not quite independent, but also not quite the publisher known for quality over quantity.
I think they run independently technically, but yeah, they're the majority.
Right. There's no creative oversight, I don't think.
Right.
Hopefully, you'd hope not. Yeah.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I think Unreal Engine 5, how do you feel? Because you are somebody who, especially because you play it on console, again, It does feel slightly better on PC. You've got the feedback of the mouse and keyboard and obviously a high refresh rate, but it was definitely held back on console. So how does this news feel to you as somebody who couldn't quite get into it?
Yeah, it definitely feels very clunky on controller, and that's my biggest complaint because I want to love the game, the game, but I just can't because of the clunkiness of the controls. Like I really like the game. I just don't love it because of the clunkiness. And if the switch to Unreal Engine 5 makes it easier for them to adjust that and make it a little bit more polished and a little bit crispier for controller input, that would be great. I would be very excited for that, and I'd be 100% down for that. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Brenty, thank you for rejoining us. It's been a minute, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
PXN news of the week, guys. Here we go. Insomniac is not officially, but reportedly working on a third game alongside Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. A recently resurfaced interview suggests it has an unannounced game. The quote here is from I think Eberhardt? Yeah, Aaron Eberhardt, project director. She said, "This is actually my first AAA game project now. I'm the project director here on an unannounced project." She said on the stream, "I'm very excited to actually be making games now." Eberhardt joined Insomniac just before the studio began advertising for a multiplayer project. Insomniac is officially working on, of course, the pair of Marvel titles, but it's best known for Ratchet and Clank. So, we're getting a multiplayer game from Insomniac? Are we getting another Ratchet and Clank? What else we got cooking? Because everything they got cooking in their ovens, I'm eating.
Yeah. How would we feel about a co-op superhero game?
I would be down. I wonder what superhero they'd do. Would it be Spider-Man as well, or co-op?
I feel like if they wanted to do co-op Spider-Man, I feel like the opportunity, especially with how they've planned the story out, I feel like they would have tried to do that for Spider-Man 2 if they wanted to. If they wanted to make a co-op game that was in the Spider-Man sort of universe. Mm-hmm. So I would think that this might be some other Marvel property. If it is superhero related, it could be something completely else. But
give you a crazy idea here.
Oh.
It's been a minute since we got a game that was surrounding this character. What about Deadpool?
Okay.
That could be fun.
Interesting.
You know what? As much as it's not a household name in the gaming space, I think the Deadpool games were the only, back in the era of the Marvel games that would, a movie would come out and then there'd be a game and it'd be, really bad. I remember the most recent Deadpool game that was in 2009, 2010 was fairly well received.
Yeah.
It was better than most superhero games of its time, so I don't know if that's just a character and kind of how you can put that character in any scenario that lends itself really well to games, but I think that would be cool. How would they do that co-op?
I was thinking X-Men. You team them up with X-Men.
And
they already have Wolverine introduced.
And the player one, the host is Deadpool, and then anybody else that joins, it's some X-Men that have been roped into whatever the fuck he's doing, or trying to make sure that shit doesn't go off the rails, and that's the story reason for why they're constantly filtering in and out. That'd be cool. That'd be kind of cool.
Be interesting. I don't know. Ro, do you think that? I don't know. I guess the thing is I don't know that Insomniac's done anything super funny, I guess. And Ratchet has some cute moments and stuff like that, but
will they be able to nail the Deadpool humor, which is for me admittedly pretty hit or miss, so I don't know who has nailed it besides the first Deadpool movie for me.
Right.
But I don't know. I think they could do it. I have faith in that team when it comes to writing. But like you said, Dan, they haven't done anything similar to Deadpool for me to like relate it to. I kind of hope that it's not superhero related, and I hope it's like either something original or something that they haven't done in a while. I think that would be kind of fun to see. I love Insomniac, and I love what they've done with Spider-Man and what they're going to do with Wolverine, but I don't want them to become like the Marvel studio.
Right.
It'd be cool if they are able to like keep the Spider-Man thing going and also do their passion projects on the side, which I don't see not happening. But yeah, it's kind of hard for me to come up with an idea that isn't Marvel related, though, admittedly. So yeah, we'll see.
Ratchet and Clank All for One 2.
Let's go.
You know what I'm gonna throw something out here. I think it'd be cool. I don't think we've seen since the early days of Assassin's Creed, and even then, not quite to the same speed. I think it'd be cool if Insomniac did a game that plays like Spider-Man or like your Arkham Asylum, where you're constantly bouncing between enemies and like dodging and parrying, but was like medieval fantasy. And you kind of had swords and magic and stuff like that. Like almost kind of like if you were to sit down and play The Witcher, but if you were bouncing between enemies. I feel like there'd be a lot of cool room for like visual flair and cool animations and stuff like that, because that's a genre that, again, aside from Assassin's Creed, which has been more RPG oriented as of late, there's not really many brawlers, third-person brawlers that are in the fantasy medieval setting. That'd be kind of cool.
Very true. All right. Moving into our other PXN news item of the week, Ubisoft, and this might have been a poor choice for this, but I was just like, I don't know what the fuck to put in here, so let's put this in here, you know? Ubisoft is closing unused accounts, disabling access to purchased games. The publisher claims this is due to GDPR restrictions. In response, let's see. According to a user on Twitter, they received an email from Ubisoft warning that they should not click a link in said email, which would stop the account suspension. The account, including all purchased games, would be inaccessible after a certain period. In response to Ubisoft support, Twitter wrote, "We just want to chime in." It threw me off that it said Twitter there. "We just wanted to chime in that you can avoid the account closure by logging into your account within 30 days since receiving the email pictured and selecting the cancel account closure link in the email." When previously questioned on the issue, Ubisoft claimed that due to GDPR regulations, the company is required to close inactive accounts to comply with local data protection legislation. "This is only if we have strong reasons to believe that the account in question will remain unused," reads a message on Ubisoft's website. I guess this just brings up another issue of like, your account and game preservation of your account, because if you own games, it doesn't necessarily mean you can play them if they're digital. And like if you get banned or if you lose account access or any of the above things happen, like you're kind of SOL. And I guess even if this is true that they're bound by these regulations, it does still suck as I guess something that has to happen to close your account if, say you're not interested in a Ubisoft game for a couple years and you kind of fall off. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely a multifaceted issue where it's like it goes to it's a good example as to why we as consumers like should make our own personal choice to not rely on digital games, which is something that I need to work on because I buy games digitally when really I could buy them physically. And then also we don't want to get to the point where games are just not being given the option to like made in physical, in which case that would be something that we all kind of need to stand up for. So I think it's definitely a little bit on us, a little bit on them in terms of this culture of digitizing everything. Because like at first, when I first heard this story, I was kind of like, oh, that's Ubisoft, that kind of sucks. Why the hell are you doing this? But then you think about it, it's true. Like you can't be expected, especially if we're in a very pro environment kind of phase, which I think we all should be. You can't really have these hangars full of studios that are or full of servers, that have information from somebody that hasn't logged in 15 years. Like I kind of see what struggle is on that side of things.
Yeah, I can definitely. Yeah, I honestly agree with what Gage was saying. When I first saw it too, I was like, "God damn it, Ubisoft! Another Ubisoft L! What the heck?" And then Dan read it a little bit more, and I'm seeing like kind of the rules, I guess, that they have to play by, and it maybe isn't so much of a Ubisoft problem, just like an industry digital issue sort of thing that needs to be worked out. But I hope we work it out, because it still is a problem. Not being able to own the media that we purchase. But I don't know, and like Gage said, it kind of does fall on us at a certain point, where these terms of services that we're clicking on and check marking probably said in there somewhere that these things happen, if but
right.
Yeah, it still sucks, because that's a lot to read.
When you sign your life away and sign in blood.
Yeah. Oh man.
They will come for that blood. Let me tell you.
They will. And even when the option is there to buy physical, sometimes that physical item isn't physical, because the PlayStation and the Xbox have digital versions as we talked about before, so they just don't even put the disc in, because they don't know what console you're buying it for, which makes sense. But at the same time, it still sucks that it's not. Even though I'm buying this thing, it there's a possibility that I may not be able to play it someday.
All right. Moving into our fantasy draft check-in, you sly son of a bitch, Ro. Sly son of a bitch. I see those 2 pickups.
Yeah, I saw it too.
July 22nd, Roshan, the Lockhart's team name, acquired The Expanse, a Telltale series, with a bid of $4, as well as F1 Manager 2023 with another bid of $4. That, you know what, Ro? That's the type of shit that I did last year with Warhammer's fucking whatever Warhammer game I bought. I don't even remember which one it was, but I'm like, yeah, these games do well. I'll pick it up.
Yeah, let's just. The last one did okay, so I at least get a little bit of points, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man.
You know what? I respect it. And
thank you.
You know what? You're off to a good start with The Expanse, a Telltale series. It has 3 reviews thus far. 1 is unscored. I guess they don't do scores. But the other 2 are 8 out of 10s. So that's a solid start.
I think I need 3 more reviews.
You know what? I'm surely it'll get there, right?
Hopefully.
But let's just do a quick check-in on points here. Florida Man Publishing. Gage has 10 points. Sorry, Gage.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just reading in order of points here.
Right. And then we're still talking about it too. Yeah. So
Roshan's The Lockhart's has 57, but he's got a lot of games coming. Of course, the 2 we just talked about. And then we've got Saliva Gang PDX. Christian's team was 79 points, and then my team with 118 points. Of course, I have the most games released, so that does not mean shit yet.
How does this keep happening to me?
It doesn't mean anything yet. Oh, how does it keep happening to you? Because you bid.
How does this keep happening?
You bid like $30 on a game none of us were gonna buy.
Yeah,
$39 on Hogwarts Legacy. None of us were gonna bid on Hogwarts Legacy.
It was after some of the previews came out and they were actually good, and I was wondering, I'm like, okay, are these guys somebody just gonna? Yeah.
Whoops.
Oof.
It's always next year.
Yeah. That's on Gage's tombstone, and there's always next year.
Literally.
All right. Moving in to what you got for me. Daniel, I don't really have anything for you. I've just been playing a lot more Halo because I've just been having spurts here and there to play. I haven't really had a lot of long sessions lately. It's been a little bit chaotic the last couple weeks. So Halo Infinite, but I do want to spotlight something from Halo Infinite that dropped yesterday. Very cool. a remake of the Halo 2 map Waterworks and a remake of the Halo 4 map Exile have been added to the squad battles matchmaking playlists in Halo Infinite. And as we've been talking about, me and Gage playlist is awesome. Love it. It's all old maps that have been remade by the community, and it's 8v8, which is classic big team battle size instead of 12v12, which Halo Infinite's big team battle has. It's perfect. I love it. And Exile is a fantastic Gauge. If you never played Halo 4 or not much of it, Exile was a fantastic big team battle map, so that's going to be great. And Waterworks is one of my favorite big team battle maps from Halo 2. So very excited to have both of those. Oh, yeah. Okay, Glenn. Glenn wants me to announce that we played some stupid checkers game in Discord the other day because he invited me to join Discord, and I'm like, oh, I could do this on my phone. And we played checkers, and yes, Glenn beat me in checkers on
I was going to say, I'm waiting for it. That's why he wants you to bring it up.
Yeah.
If you had smoked him, Glenn would not have brought it up one bit.
No, absolutely not. You're right. All right. Roshan, what you got for us?
I actually beat Oxenfree last week, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we were doing the special 200 episode. But yeah, I beat Oxenfree 2. Really good. I had a great time with it. It's been so long since I played the first one, so maybe I need to play the first one to say this, but I think I enjoyed the first one more than this one. But I really liked how this one incorporated the story of the first one into it, with also allowing the new characters to be their own characters and not being weighed down by the last game. But it was really good. It was more Oxenfree, which is good. The dialogue was fantastic. The story was cool. Nothing really groundbreaking visually or anything like that. It has a great art style. The puzzles are super simple, but that's okay because I'm just playing the story. And yeah, I had a good time with it. I played it all on my iPad because I used Netflix's app to play it. Surprisingly, a pretty good experience.
I was going to say, did it run well?
It ran pretty well. It crashed twice on me, but when I was in the game, it ran really smoothly. There was no like hiccups or frame rate issues or anything like that. It ran good unless it randomly crashed on me. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Kirik says, sorry, Kirik, I missed this earlier. What they should do is when a service is brought offline, making a game you purchase no longer accessible, is make a physical copy and charge the end user just the mere material cost of the disc. Kind of cool idea.
Yeah.
Gage, what you got for me?
I started this game actually a few weeks ago. I think I forgot to mention it on the podcast. Like, obviously, we didn't talk about it last week, and maybe the week before I forgot to mention it as well. But I did start Inside, and I was kind of playing that at sessions here and there, and I finally wrapped world credits on that a couple days ago. And really fun game, really cool physics engine. Their games feel really smooth. I really like what they do. Limbo had the same kind of feeling, so very cool, very atmospheric. I like it. I like how there's no dialogue. It's just very moody and kind of fun. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then aside from that, playing a lot of Halo squad battles, like you said. I reiterate everything you say. That's what I used to play back in the day. I think the player numbers are much better in the 8v8 versus the 12v12 for me personally. So a little bit of Halo and a little bit of Inside.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. We've made it to the part of the show that is the topic of the show. Guys, we're going to talk about some Activision and Blizzard IP that we would like to see return. There's a lot of stuff that they own that really I had no idea that they owned, just because of all the acquisitions they've made over the years, I guess, and IP and created and all kinds of stuff. But I put some examples in here. I also put a web link to a whole list of them if you want to look at those. But I want to know what you guys think you want to see return, and like what makes it special. Like, maybe pick 3 Activision Blizzard IPs that you want to see return, and like why do you want to see it return? Like, I'll start us off here because this one's a little bit of a deeper cut, I feel like. And the game is called Blur.
God damn it, Daniel!
Do you want to use that one? I'll use a different one. I can use.
No, I mean, let's just have over. There's not a huge list in total. Like,
that's
I mean
true.
that. So like, we can have overlap. So that's fine.
That's true, but I can pick 3 others. I literally have.
I have a feeling that there might be like 2 or 3 overlaps. Like if we keep doing this, so I think it's fine. We can just both have Blur.
You pick Blur. You talk about it.
God damn it, Daniel.
You talk about it. I have 3. I guarantee you're not going to pick 1, 2 of the ones that I'm going to pick. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Blur. I mean, Blur. What a great, fun arcade racer. Hidden gem slipped by. I think it did well critically. It didn't do well commercially. Because again, did not allow people, just kind of flew under the radar. But really fun. And one of those games that kind of felt like, I don't know, it was cool because they had, I don't think they were licensed, but it was kind of like they did a Grand Theft Auto thing where the cars were pretty much almost exact, like you could guess what the car was supposed to be, but it was named something else. So I thought it was just a fun kind of mishmash of like you had these really high quality, high polygon count cars, but the game on a mechanics level played like a Mario Kart kind of like crazy racer. I mean, obviously it played at a lot higher speed, which is fun, but there was like power-ups and boosts and all that stuff. And I thought it was really fun. I remember playing that game. I was at the time like one of the only people that played it. I was very much just kind of playing it by myself, but I remember playing that game for a lot longer than I thought I would. And it was very fun. And yeah, I love that you chose Blur as well, because that's one of those hidden gem games that I think is great.
And it was made by Bizarre Creations, of course, that made Project Gotham Racing, which was huge for original Xbox. So yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace, Bizarre Creations.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the game felt like it had, even though it was so wacky and zany and colorful, it felt like it had quality behind it. And I didn't even know that at the time, but that makes sense. It definitely felt like it was a better game than like what it got credit for.
All right, so I'm going to instead start with one I guarantee neither of you will pick, and that's DJ Hero.
That's fair. Yeah.
Very much, yeah. Very much want DJ Hero to return. I still have my turntable from the original DJ Hero on Xbox 360. It is in storage, and like I bought that game on a whim. I think I got it on sale for like a deep discount, like well after the game came out. And I had so much fun with that game. Like, of course, that was in the Guitar Hero age when everyone was doing it. Guitar Hero, Rock Band, and then they came out with DJ Hero. And I'm like, this game is just so much fun. Like, I never in a million years like expected myself to like to gravitate towards a DJ game, but like I just had so much fun with it. Like the turntable actually moved, and like that was how you got different style points and such. And like it just, I don't know, the controller itself felt really nice, and like the turntable felt like really cool. It felt like you were actually like DJing it. I don't know. It was really cool experience. I very much enjoyed that game.
Made you feel like a DJ.
I did, yeah.
8 out of 10 from IGN.
Yeah. But yeah, DJ.
I'm actually in a similar boat to you, Dan, because I was going to say Guitar Hero for my first one. Even though I don't know if the marketplace or the landscape is the same as it was in 2000, whatever those games came out in. But yeah, I had a great time with that genre of games, those rhythm games as well. I also still have my guitar. I was looking around the room to see if it was in my room, but I think it's in the basement. But I still have my Guitar Hero guitar as well. And yeah, I had a good time with those games. Admittedly, my list is probably going to be pretty basic because I just don't have a huge, with like Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff. And kind of the rest of Activision's list is a lot of games that I haven't played myself either. But Guitar Hero, had a great time with them in my youth. And it would be cool to see it come back. Maybe, I guess with how technology is, they may not even need the guitar. Maybe you could just hook up your phone. But that'll lose the magic to me.
Yeah.
It's not as fun.
And it's been so long. Like I feel like it's time,
Yeah.
Gage, what's your second one?
Oh, you're muted.
Gage Dempster.
I am muted. Yes, correct. My alarm went off. Guitar Hero was my second.
Hell yeah.
And I'm totally blanking on my third.
Oh, that's okay. I can come back to you if you want to think about
Yes,
it.
yeah, go ahead. I'm just gonna take a look at the list again. I'll remember it immediately. But you go next.
My second, I think I know what your other one's gonna be. Actually,
Probably it's a G.
List.
I think it's another G one. It starts
gun.
with a G.
It's gun.
Yes,
isn't it?
that is what it is. Yeah, exactly.
Go for it. Talk about it then.
Gun. I mean, again, something that I think, if I remember correctly, Gun came out. Oh yeah, it did. It came out well before Red Dead Redemption came out.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Not Red Dead Revolver. I think they came out around the same time.
Correct.
But so, and I mean, at this point, I'm young enough that I'm not quite choosing the M for mature games that I'm playing. I'm just kind of like, they're in the household, and I'm able to. So I didn't get to play Red Dead Revolver, but the Wild West game that I played as a kid was Gun, and I remember even for the time thinking like how many controls there were, and some of the cool things you could do. Like I believe it was a third-person game, but you could go into first-person like gunfight mode, and it was. I remember being quite interesting, and I think that more competition in the Wild West space is definitely not bad. I think it's a cool medium, and there's not a whole lot of competition there. I mean, you've got your Red Dead Redemption, obviously, which is, I mean, yes, it's a Wild West game, but also it's a Rockstar game. It's kind of like an event. It's, you know what I mean? So aside from that, you got Call of Juarez, which is cool, but not quite. It's kind of like your Back for Blood, not quite the same caliber. So I think thinking of the size of Activision Blizzard now, and especially, again, the implication of this topic of the show is like we're talking about things that can get revived once the Microsoft sort of thing goes through. So if we're talking about IP revivals that get a lot of resources and a lot of care and that they really try to turn into something, I think Gun, if they wanted to try and do their own open world Wild West thing, that totally could be a franchise worth exploring, I think.
Which is so wild because that game was made by Neversoft, and they were the ones who made the Tony Hawk games back then.
Right.
So cool.
And on the inverse, right, you have somebody like Treyarch, and who makes some of the most now makes a lot of the first-person shooters, right?
Treyarch made the original Spider-Man games, right?
Yes, they did. I think they made what is considered like the best one, Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2, right? Whichever one had the momentum swinging.
Just normal Spider-Man 2. It wasn't
okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. Was it amazing? Dan says.
I mean, the game
was
probably great, but
says,
not
Treyarch is shit.
Spider-Man. All right. My second one, guys, is a legend. I think I've talked about this game before on this podcast, but Empire Earth. I used to play this game all the time as a kid growing up. I would come home from school, install it on my dad's PC in the basement, play for a couple hours until he got home from work, and then immediately uninstall it so he didn't know I was playing, because my dad thought back then that video games had viruses on them, so I wasn't allowed to play on my PC, my dad's PC. But this game was so good. I loved this game so much. It was a RTS, and you had to go through all of the ages, like the going from like the Neanderthal age to all the way to the Epoch age, they called it, which is like super space exploration, like super high tech equipment and stuff. And It was such a good game. I enjoyed going through each of the stages of human evolution or whatever, human ages, I guess.
Right.
And it was so good. I just loved it so much, and I really want that game to return. It will probably never return because it's such an obscure name, but it was such a fun game. I miss it every day.
Miss it every day.
Yeah.
I've got one as well. It's kind of in the same vein of how I want all these older games to be remastered, like Mass Effect, and just the games that I've missed, because this is another game that I missed that I don't think is as as well regarded or as loved as Mass Effect, but I think it's like a cult classic. but you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Prototype.
Oh yeah,
was a game that I've always been interested in that game, but at the time I just wasn't allowed to play it, and I probably wouldn't have picked it up on my own accord anyway. But as the years go by, I've like looked at gameplay of it, and it's like this kind of looks kind of cool. And I think if it was remade, it could be made even better. Like how you can pick up the stuff on top of a building. I don't even know what the correct term of it's called, but like the air conditioning units, I guess, and you could toss out the helicopters and climb up the side of the roof and or the side of a building and like hop off the roof. It's like that kind of traversal and gameplay seems like it could be even more fun if they decided to revamp it. I'm not even entirely sure what the story is about. I think it's like a superhero gone rogue or something. I honestly don't know. But it seems like something that I would enjoy if they remade it.
That game was so fun. I have good memories of that game. It's like a Spider-Man light. Like it's similar.
Sounds great.
Yeah, traversal is very similar to Spider-Man, and upgrading your abilities over time. That was definitely a cult classic, I feel like.
Yeah.
Gage, did you already? I guess Guitar Hero, was that one of yours, or do you want to say? Do you have another
Guitar?
one?
Not only was Guitar Hero one of mine, but Prototype was also my backup. So Rose definitely got the same brain in turn. And Prototype. I'm just gonna. I don't have another game to mention, but I'll just quickly add that. Prototype, great game. I love the idea, and again, I think this is something that's missing in the space right now. Is a game that looks and plays and feels like something like Spider-Man, which, like you said, Prototype kind of like Spider-Man Light. But Prototype is a game that's kind of written in a way like Grand Theft Auto, where your hero is like morally ambiguous. So it's a game that gives you all these great powers and stuff, and then also lets you just be a degenerate and like just run around the city and kind of be a villain, which is cool. It's fun. That's what you want in a video game. So I think that would be cool. I think we'll maybe get a taste of that playing as Venom in the Venom suit Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2. But having a whole game around that where it's a sandbox and it's like go. Throw HVACs at helicopters. Why not? Like that sounds awesome. I'd love for that to come back, especially in the days of Unreal Engine 5 and all that.
Peter Parker just gets so mad he starts pulling air conditioning units off of buildings. Get out of here!
You mean Peter Man?
Peter Man, yeah. That's a great. You guys both have great taste there. All great games thus far. Yes. My third one, and this is one I thought you were going to try and steal from me, Gage. True Crime franchise. Very much want that to come back. True Crime Streets of LA and True Crime New York. Loved those games back in the day. Essentially like a Grand Theft Auto-ish clone, except you take the side of you're a detective, I think, or a police officer, one or the other. Yeah. And it was just a very fun game. I have really good memories of that game. I don't remember exactly what the story was. It probably wasn't that significant, but like just driving around that city, and it was just so much fun. Like the city felt very alive. And I felt like at the time, True Crime was ahead of Grand Theft Auto in some aspects.
Right.
At that time. But yeah, I would very much love for that to come back. And every time I say True Crime, I have to mention it, even though it's not an Activision IP, but literally these games are tied at the hip for me because I remember literally playing True Crime and Dead to Rights all the time back in the day on fucking GameCube, I think. And I just had so much fun with both of those franchises. Very similar franchises in terms of both are police officer protagonists. But Dead to Rights had a dog as your companion, and you could send him out you could send him out to do stuff and get items and stuff like that. I love that so much. And they tried to bring that, I think it's Bandai Namco that owns it maybe, but they tried to bring it back in 2010 with a game, but it didn't do that well. But yeah, I miss those games. Those were the good times.
Fun memory, actually. True Crime is a game that it was at a relative's house. I never owned it, and my mom would not want me playing it, so it was one of those games I had to play sneakily. But I remember, I think it was on the PS2. That was one of the first games that I figured out with using the whole Game Shark disc thing. I don't know if you remember that, Daniel, where you'd put in the cheat code disc first ahead of the game. You'd preload all the different cheats that you want. You'd take the disc out, then you'd put the game in. And I remember I was playing True Crime at this relative's house. He explained how it worked. And every time I went there, went right for the Game Shark disc, would put on all the outfits and all the stuff you could get, and then take it out. And it's just that's cool little how things used to work back in the day. Kind of neat. But yeah, True Crime, great pick.
Indeed. Ugh, so good. Eric has great taste too, I can tell. He says, Dead to Rights was great. I didn't play it, but I watched a buddy of mine play the shit out of it. Hell yeah. Your buddy's very smart. Very smart. Glenn says, I'm pretty sure Prototype was remastered on last gen. Was it?
That doesn't sound like it's wildly off.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah. Prototype HD Biohazard bundle is a big disappointment. That's the main that's the title. Well,
it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't be a good idea if they were.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well,
that's funny.
Yeah, we want new games in the franchise.
I was gonna say we're talking about franchise revival. We're not talking about
remaster.
Right.
Remasters.
Yeah. Anywho, Ro, what's your last one if you have one? Sure.
If I don't have one particular.
Okay.
Really, a Tony Hawk would be cool to come back. I loved those games when I was younger. That was actually one of the Activision games that I played. But as I've talked about with Need for Speed, most of the time it was like the Game Boy version. So I never got to really experience the PlayStation 2 versions of these games, which I'm assuming were the superior versions. I'd assume, as I was used like these tiny little pixel versions of Tony Hawk. Still fun, but it'd be cool to play those games again. And my jokey answer is Overwatch because I missed the 2016 version of that game, and
what a great answer!
It is such a shell of itself now.
What a fucking great answer!
Bring back Overwatch, please.
Overwatch 2 didn't do it for us.
It did not.
You know what? I'm going to reiterate Rose's Tony Hawk game as well. I know that we recently, Christian and I, on the podcast, we were talking about our love for Project 8. That's also a genre. Not a genre, I guess. Skateboarding is a genre, but I mean, I think there needs to. I want the return of the arcade sim skateboarding game because right now we either get Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which is like your crazy rack up a million combos and not anywhere near realistic at all, or you have your Skate where it's, my right stick controls my right ankle ball joint and my left stick controls my left ankle ball joint, and I need to move them in this. Like, I love Project 8, and I want a game that is that nice middle ground with smooth animations and realistic ragdoll physics, but not to the point where it's so realistic. And so, like, I think that's a nice middle ground. I'd love to see something like that come back from the Tony Hawk's franchise.
That would be incredible. All these franchises and more are coming back.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
this just in officially confirmed.
Yeah, they're watching us live right now. They're doing it.
This is some good ideas.
Yeah, I know Phil's wanting Hexen probably after he wore that Hexen t-shirt, and not. I think we were doing the live stream, and I'm like, "What the fuck is Phil's t-shirt that he's wearing?" I didn't even know what that franchise was. Phil, after, but Kirik says also, I still have my copy of True Crime for the original Xbox. Great game. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah, Kirik. All right. Well then, gentlemen, do you have anything else before we close out the show?
Christian was wrong. Hashtag Christian was wrong. And he was very serious.
Christian was wrong and he was very serious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're referring to.
I don't even know specifically what the argument was, but I just know that Christian was dead wrong and he was dead serious, and it's just got to be said, you know?
Yeah, he was adamant about it.
He was adamant. He was adamant Neve, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Is he going to watch this back and hear these remarks being made?
We'll find out. Let's not mention it to him, and let's see if he actually will watch the episode. I feel like he does.
Good point. We're challenging him. Christian, remember the number 5 if you watch this episode.
That'll be the. That's how we'll know. Oh my god.
He stopped listening before listen.
It's like, sorry, if you can't give me the confirmation number, I don't believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, anyone could have guessed that Gage was talking shit about you.
That's fair. That's actually fair.
All right, guys.
Yep.
Hell yes. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Gage. Christian will return. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Yes.